Hello, my name is Martyr, and this is Let's Play Appointment with F.E.A.R. And thank you for watching. Appointment with F.E.A.R. is a visual novel, guys. And no, not the chibi, cutesy anime kind, but it definitely kind of follows that genre of games in a way. And I know I may catch some flack for saying that, but basically it's an interactive fiction. It's a book, guys. You basically make decisions. It's a choose your own adventure book, if that's the term you prefer. It released on Steam August 2014, and it was developed and published by Tin Man Games. You can go ahead and get Appointment with F.E.A.R. for $5.99 on Steam, and it's also available on the mobile market for $2.99. What's the difference between this and the mobile version, the app? Well, I'm not 100% sure about that, guys, so buyer beware. Now, guys, first thing I want to say about this game is that I already recommend this game. It's fun, it's really awesome, it has this weird kind of charm and style, and the way it doesn't take itself too seriously, it's just a really neat game. It's not really your typical type of game either. There isn't much interaction with the game going on other than making decisions, clicking buttons occasionally. There isn't even, flashy scenes for you to watch like The Wolf Among Us or in The Walking Dead, but there is a very cool story here, guys. There's lots of charm, there's lots of replayability here, and all the decisions you make do really a good job of branching off in different directions and making you feel as if you're making your own story in a way. Now, if you're a fan of Steve Jackson, guys, no, not the one who made Munchkin, the British Steve Jackson, he came up with a series of books called Fighting Fantasy, which is basically a single-player role-playing book. It's kind of like a choose-your-own-adventure book. It's a little bit more interactive. You have dice and stats and things like that. And they were more aimed for adults than they were for kids. They made one of them into a game, and here we are now. So how well does it translate into a game, guys? That would be the question. I think pretty well. Not that it doesn't have a couple issues here and there, guys. To start, though, we're going to go ahead and make a superhero. We're going to go through the credits here. Like I said, the entire game is completely click-based. You can play it with a controller, which I think is a really nice addition for a game. They didn't have to add controller support. There is a lot of reading here to be done, so I'll go ahead and read the intro, but from that point forward, I may skip some dialogue just to show you more parts of the game. Many years ago, your birth was the moment all doctor had been waiting for. Having consented to strange radiation experiments, your parents were concerned for your safety. The doctors and scientists watched your arrival into the world. Am I a boy or am I a girl? This of course affects your character's look and his physique and all that stuff. Let's go with I am a boy. In your childhood, you were born happy and healthy child. The prenatal experiments seem to have no effect. To protect you, your parents shielded you from further experimentation and tests. Long after the research had been forgotten, your true potential began to manifest. As a teenager, your powers began to flourish in your teen years, particularly in your pants. Choose your superpower. Okay, now this is a major decision here, right here, guys. Choosing your superpower, because this, believe it or not, really does affect how you play the game. So if you want to say, well, I'm gonna be like a Professor X character, I want to move things with my brain and read people's minds, that really does affect your character's playstyle. You're not as physical as other characters with different powers might be, so you have to approach situations differently. Like a guy may have hijacked a plane, and you can read his mind and try to, control one of the passengers' brains and have him try to fight the guy hijacking the plane. Or, if you have super strength and you can fly up towards the plane and, try to stop it yourself. There's many different paths here to choose, and all the powers do a really good job of affecting the story in different and unique ways. So I've played with the mental powers, I played with the strength to fly one, so I'm actually going to choose something. I'm going to choose I am super clever and have invented a gadget for every situation. Oh, he looks badass. So I'm like a Batman-like character, I guess. I'm holding my belt. I have a very muscular tone here. This adds a little bit of customization to the game, guys. You can make your own superhero. You can also choose his own look. So I don't know, maybe something else. No one wears bandana. Well, maybe, I don't know, no. That's kind of cool. I think there's 6 or 7 choices, I'm not 100% sure. No. Alright, so we can go with this. I think we'll go with the bandana dude, actually. I think bandana dude is going to talk like this. And then you get to choose your colors. Let's be bright blue. And our The secondary color will be red and blue clash. Let's go with white. Hello, who are you? Hello, my name is superhero name is, choose a name for your hero. The common boom? No. The decisive bouncer. The effervescent moth. The multicolored feeling. Definitely none of these. Incomparable Saturn professor, amazing. Oh, I like that one. But that would indicate that I am a professor, which, I don't know if that's true or not. The left side spear, let's go with Professor Amazing. Hello, I'm Professor Amazing. As Professor Amazing, you keep the citizens of Titan City safe in the unending battle against crime. Now, of course, you could go through the entire thing again, basically re-choose your powers and colors and your faces and all that, but we're going to go with this for just now. And yeah, this is basically how the entire game kind of presents itself in this kind of comic book-esque, panels. And yes, it's different. I enjoy it quite a bit as I read, quite a bit of comic books myself. I love comic books, love superheroes in general, and I enjoy this aesthetic. And I think it does a really good job of presenting. The art style is really cool too. I don't know who drew the art. I don't know if the art's straight out of the book, but the art's really cool looking, and I enjoy it. Visually, it's really nice. So present day, it is morning. You sit at your kitchen table and glance out the window to see the sun rising over Titan City skyline. You smile. Now, what a lovely sunny day. Nothing could go wrong today. Titan City is safe because you devote your life to fighting crime and keeping the thugs and villains off the streets. You're a Professor Amazing, upholder of justice, and you have taken oath to serve and to fight against crime in Titan City. Time for breakfast. Your robotic laser cutter dings and you grab a streaming bowl of porridge that is created for you. Now, that's one thing kind of important to know. In the game, there is achievements, guys. There's all that steamy goodness for you to enjoy. Steam achievements, Steam cards. I don't know if there's a leaderboard. I don't think there's a leaderboard for anything. But there is a lot of steamy goodness. And in the game itself, there's in-game achievements also. And in-game cards. Aside from the stuff that you collect from that, there's stuff you collect in the game itself, which, is a really nice touch. I mean, it doesn't necessarily add anything to the story, but, it's still nice and collectible there. It adds a little bit of replay value, a little bit more. If you're an obsessive collector, some people I know are. You sit down to breakfast. Suddenly, a radio transmission decryptor crackles to life. This is, of course, presenting the story here. This game basically is about this supervillain group called F.E.A.R, and then basically trying to do evil stuff, and it's your job to kind of stop them by going through the story. You also have these things called luck points. What this does, I'm not 100% sure of right now. But I did say use luck to get better F.E.A.R cards. F.E.A.R here in Titan City. I must stop them. The Crime Watch. Now, the Crime Watch is kind of how you're going to be alerted to situations, how the story is going to kind of progress itself. And occasionally you'll be moments where you can use clues to kind of progress the story further also. It's all very interesting to say the least. But for now, let's see. Suddenly your Crime Watch starts beeping in your bedroom. Now, of course, you're going to be presented with multiple decisions, like we can finish my cup of coffee, or pick up our Crime Watch. Let's finish a cup of coffee. What the hell? You settle back into your chair and drink back the last dregs of your coffee. Nothing like the first day of coffee is a superhero's day. The bitter taste of the Colombian filter pen certainly helps gather your senses. Unlocked achievement, Coffee Snob. Ignore work to drink coffee. Fantastic. I also got a Steve achievement. Not that you can see that there. Your Crime Watch gives you crime updates around Titan City. Use it to fight crime around the city. Discover new clues which will bring you closer to F.E.A.R. Each clue you find gives you a luck point too. Use luck point to increase your chance of getting a new F.E.A.R card after combat. So I guess it's like luck basically helps you get F.E.A.R cards, I guess. Beep, beep, beep. The crime up beeps again as you put it in your wrist. You check the latest crime updates. News update detected. A young boy known as Brainchild is rumored to have heard vivid dreams which come to life. The boy's identity is Timothy Grant and he lives on 100th Street. You found a clue. Young Timothy is said to have vivid dreams that can come to life. We also got a luck point. Sounds like it's going to be a busy day in Titan City today. Not only are you Professor Amazing, but he also has a day job. You'd think I'd have a day job as a professor, but whatever. Your job consists of, oh no, I'm late for work. Okay, more decisions. You can check if we have all of our costumes. Let's get to work, okay, buddy? Wearing your incognito disguise, you head to work. With fear on your mind, you note that Titan City feels particularly tense this morning. Uh-oh, it's beeping. News update detected. 3 villains' identities have been revealed. Silly Frost is the Ice Queen. Okay, this is just introducing different villains that you'll be fighting throughout the story here, guys. Got more luck. As you think about the information you just received, an argument interrupts your thoughts. I want to ask you again. Mind your manners, you beast. Newspaper vendor shot something about a robbery. and it's hard to hear him over the cacophony of car horns. Car phones. Looks like today won't be just another day. The car horns are getting louder and angrier. Now, of course, this presents to you different multiple paths. Like one thing, when I chose to be the mental superhero, I went to resolve the argument, and I read those people's minds as to what was bothering them, and I immediately was able to solve the situation. Now, because I'm a tech superhero, I may have to approach that situation a little bit differently from when I had mental powers. By the way, yes, that's how he hides his superhero identity. He just puts on glasses even though he's wearing a cape and blue suit. It's a little bit of humor there injected into the game. It doesn't take itself too seriously, like I said, but it does present a pretty, hard, people are dying and crap like that, and you can really mess the story up and die if you don't do things right. So we have 4 multiple choices here, 4 multiple paths. We can check the newspaper. Let's see if we can resolve the argument. The argument is rapidly escalating. An elderly businesswoman is yelling at a woman. Oh, I'm sorry. An elderly businessman is yelling at a woman with an untrained dog. How dare you just let your dog do that? It's disgraceful. Brucey's just a poor animal. Don't you yell at him. And a small crowd is built up around the man and woman. Raised voices are taken one side or the other. The situation is beginning to look nasty. Changing my costume and stop this argument. Try to stop the argument in my street clothes. Ignore this incident and head for my office. I'm going to change my costume, which is basically just taking off my glasses. In your shimmering cross, you step towards the crowd and use a gadget from my accessory belt. My accessory belt, really? Try and appear authoritative. Okay, we'll try a gadget. For your accessory belt, you produce a directional sound neutralizer. Focusing on a noisy crowd, you send a charge into the center. Its effect is immediate. ... By neutralizing all the sound waves within range of its effect, no one can hear what anyone else is saying. Baffled by their apparent deafness, the crowd turns towards you. You turn off the sound neutralizer. You certainly announce your presence to the businesswoman and the woman with the dog. In a booming voice, you command them to cease their scrabbling and disperse. It's Professor Amazing! Gracious! Looking rather embarrassed, they do as you say. We also got 2 hero points, basically, which I guess is kind of like your overall score. Maybe at the end of the game, depending on how your hero points, you might get different endings. I'm not 100% sure. You can also click on it, and it does like this really cool electrical thing. Oh. Okay, now we have 2 options here. We can continue our original journey to work or head into Audubon Park. Let's go to work. At the office late again, you creep past the office of your boss, John White, hoping he will not notice. In my office immediately! Sheepishly, you leave your desk. I hate the fact that I take this guy's crap. I think we just punch him in the face, but sure. Suddenly, a squeal of tires in the street below, followed by a loud crash, interrupts him. What the devil was that? The 2 of you rush to the window. A crowd is gathered around a large black limousine which has spun around to the road, mounted the sidewalk, and crashed into the street lamp. A fire has started in the rear of the car and is spreading. What do? Run downstairs in your street clothes, dash to the toilet, and change into your costume. That's what a real superhero would do. Gosh sakes. As Amazing Professor, you step out towards the limousine. That's right, everyone, stay back and let us do our job. The situation seems to be under control, but then you notice the fire. It's heading towards the tank. The 2 men inside the car, the chauffeur and his passenger, look thoroughly shaken. Wait to see how the firemen do first. Go to the men's aid. Pull out my micro laser from my belt. Help the fireman cut with the laser door. Let's put the micro laser. Extracting a micro laser from your accessory belt, you step up to the car and start to cut it open. Get out of it. What are you trying to do, fancy pants? You put us all out of work. This is a job for professionals, not some peacock costume amateur. Listen, sir, while I respect your job, my micro laser will do the job in half the time it would take you. Okay, Hotshot, let's see this fancy gizmo. You flick the button, nothing happens. Oh no! Ouch, you just took -2 hero points. I screwed up. So here's one of the things that's a little bit confusing about the game. For instance, I just did something that didn't necessarily work out that well. Now, in the actual book, from what I understand, you would roll and you would see how the outcome of things goes. But in the game version, I have no idea what affects my stats. I have no idea what affected that decision. I don't know if it was random. I don't know if I could go back to the checkpoint, do it again, and have a different outcome. And that's just one of the things I have a little bit of a tiny issue with this game. I don't really know what affects what. I don't know what affects my chances of hitting something in combat. I don't know what affects my chances of a particular action working. It all seems rather you just have to kind of click it and hope that it works out for the best, which can be a little bit frustrating and can lead you to want to go back and try to redo things and have yourself repeat the story over and over again. Or you can just, not be so anal and do things, straight from beginning to end. But I just wish I understood how certain things are affected. Like, is there a stats system? And if you click on this top left button here, you will see that you have kind of like this almost stats here, like 20 stamina, 11 skill, 3 luck, 0 hero points. 0 stamina points gained, basically. It's kind of confusing because it doesn't really explain to you how anything works as far as how all the decisions and how all the reactions work out, I guess you could say. In this menu, by the way, there is a couple things to look at, which we'll take a look at right now. There is a checkpoint system, which you can, of course, like I said, you can go back to certain points in the story. You're like, oh, okay, well, that didn't work out too well for me, so I can go back to the office and restart things over again, try again. Which I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to continue with this main storyline here, but I just wanted to show you that you have that option there available to you. Oh, this is another... Okay. That's a kind of weird thing. Every time you go into the submenu, you come back out of it, it kind of repeats the last couple of comic book panels, which is a little silly, a little weird. But that's fine. Also, in the menu itself, I'm going to do that again. There is the clues that you've collected, for instance, which you'll be using to kind of progress yourself through the story and might help you beat the game. There's also the Titan City map, which is another way of progressing through the story and kind of bouncing around through the areas. And yeah, by the way, if the game does look slightly appy, it has that kind of app feel to it all. It does kind of have that, but it's not necessarily anything that bothers me too much. So we'll go ahead and click through this again. We screwed up. What a time for a malfunction. You change clothes in the silent and then head back upstairs to work. So obviously we completely balls that one up. You're about to sit at your desk when? Out again? You're not on vacation. Get back to work. You sheepishly return to your desk, feeling the eyes of everyone in the office upon you, and then a final sting. Why can't you be more like a Professor Amazing? Who apparently screws up anything he does. He's Professor Screw Up, more likely. El Greco's Diner. While you're eating, a chattering group of eggheads scrambles into the booth next to yours. Well, I think the man's a fool. Maybe you're right. He's a stubborn old jackass. Again, this is presenting more story elements, basically. These people are talking about an experiment that might go horribly wrong. And then we get to choose which direction we head towards. Because we're going to hear a guy basically who's doing robbing a store, or we could head towards the potential explosion to try and prevent that. And again, this just adds more replayability value to it and branching past. I'm going to head towards the explosion. I think it's a much more important task. At the biochemistry department, there are no signs of Peg. Everything seems like just like they quickly change to Professor Amazing around the back of the main building. You walk casually down an alleyway and back into the reception area. I'm looking to meet Professor Murdoch. Oh, Professor Amazing. Gosh. Yes, sure, right this way. Let me see here. Security taps into the terminal desk. Oh, he's top floor working on those crazy experiments. Is there a problem, sir? You have no time to spare. Immediately race to lifts. 4 employees are amused to see you enter and you silently ride up towards together. It is strangely uncomfortable. Murdoch's lab. As you enter through the large swing doors, you can see the professor and he is sweating profusely. Professor Amazing, just in time. Please help. What's wrong, Professor? I'm Professor and Professor. We're professors. My experiment has gone out of hand. The temperature is building up. I fear I may have caused a disaster. In the corner of... Okay. Now, if Professor Amazing, who is a professor, cannot handle this, I'm going to kill this man. In the corner of the lab, a complicated array of chemical equipment is shuddering. At one is a bottle is boiling madly. What will you do to prevent the bottle exploding? Throw it out the window. Smother it with your hands. Rush off to look for use an item from my accessory belt. Of course. For your accessory belt, you draw an absolute zero flask. Quickly, you step over to the experiment and bring the flask up to surround the bottle. Moments later, the danger is over. Again, because I was in accessories, I was a kind of a gadgets guy, I had a power to immediately deal with that situation. Now, if I had super strength and flight, or if I had mental powers, or I could blast stuff, I would have probably had to have handled that situation probably a little bit differently. I'd have to maybe throw it out the window, get a fire extinguisher, who knows. But in this one particular situation, we did exactly what was needed to be done. The liquid in the bottle has frozen and will do no further harm. Oh, thank you so much. You have saved everyone in the building. We are forever in your debt. And I got 4 hero points. Oh, see, Professor isn't a total dumbass. My job is done here, suggesting in future you monitor boiling liquids more closely. Relieve the dangers over you leave the building. So we have 2 options now. We can check my crime watch, see if there's anything going on. It's silent, so there really isn't anything on. We could have, of course, examined our clues in our menu, see if there's anything that might help us see if we can find a crime. Like we could click on something and maybe bring ourselves to a point where we could find something. Let's go check out the main menu here. We'll check out the crime map. We got, what is this? We can zoom in a little bit here. What's this one? This one is, no, wait. This is the biochemistry run. Take me back to where I was. Gosh dang it. Again, the menu traversing is a little strange, I will say that much. And it's not as intuitive as I would like, but it's not necessarily anything that, hampers the game all too much. What's this? What is this? What is this? What? Oh, okay, so if I zoom in big time. Breakfast table at the office. So really there's nothing else to investigate here. We're going to close the map. There's extras to speak of. Like I said, there's F.E.A.R cards, achievements. You can manipulate the font and sound. The screen mode is a little bit buggy right now. Anytime I try to change the resolution, it doesn't actually change the resolution, which is kind of funny. So we'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and rest up. We'll go back to our house. What a day. You slump into a chair in front of the TV and relax a long cold drink. And we get some stamina points. Now, stamina points are what you would use in combat. Like if you were fighting a supervillain, he hits you, he takes away some stamina points. You hit him, you take away some stamina points. If you drop to 0, as you can imagine, game over. Again, I don't know what really affects those stats. I don't know really what affects the chances of you hitting or missing, but that's what stamina points are for. Why would he be living at work? You'll have to admit some pretty... I don't know why. I guess he'd just be angry. You set off for work early. You decide to travel on subway to make sure you're there on time. On the subway, you find that the seat 3 and are about to slump into it when... Help! Pickpocket! Great, just what I needed. You force your way through the crowd and busy train as you reach the pickpocket's victim. Beep, 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 beep. Uh-oh. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. The train is pulling into a station. It's only a block away from the Cowfield Dairy. If you want to get there, you get out now. We're going to leap out to see what's going on. You change a convenient alley and head for the dairy. When you arrive at the gates, everything seems to be in order. Milk trucks are returning from their daily rounds, and thousands of bottles are clinking their way alongside the ground. There's no signs of danger. A short-tailed tabby cat, no doubt a stray, is trying to get in through the gates. You pick up the hungry creature and stroke. As you wait, your eye catches a familiar-looking figure turning the corner and walking towards you. It's Chainsaw Broski! You thought this notorious murder was behind bars. Brodsky was once a no-good regular thug, but not too high for the criminal ladder. But after he decided to use a chainsaw as his gimmick, pretty robbery wasn't enough. His criminal patterns changed, and soon he was single-handedly robbing banks and breaking into museums, vandalizing art he didn't like, and stealing everything else that wasn't nailed down. If he's out on the streets again, that can only mean trouble. Apprehend the villain. My first duty is lies with the needy, and I want to take the cat to the cat's home. No, I'm going to apprehend the villain, dude. Brodsky kind of hits its grotesque peak at murder. Oh my god! It was then that he was finally captured. But he's clearly escaped. I need to stop him. You hide behind the gate until Brodsky is close. You hear his footsteps. What now, Professor Amazing? Spring out to confront him. Check my accessory belt. Let's spring out to confront him. You sprint out to confront him. What, Professor Amazing? The serial killer reaches into his coat and pulls out a battered power chainsaw. He starts it up menacingly. And now this starts the kind of the combat that I was talking to you guys about. For instance, he has an 8 stamina. We have different attacks that we can kind of use to kind of combat him. We could pound to the foot, engage a supersonic robo-weasel, trigger a computerized hat. And now, of course, because of the different damaging varying levels, they also have different chances of succeeding. Again, I don't really know which one has, the best odds of succeeding because I don't know really how the stat system works. But we'll go with the medium. You point the supersonic robo-weasel on Chainsaw Broski's knee. The robo-weasel beeps loudly. Chainsaw Broski is hit. And we did 4 points of damage to him. Causes Chainsaw Broski to stagger. Eyes glint madly as he tries to maim your left eye socket. You dodge Chainsaw Broski, move this chainsaw. My chainsaw! And now we've done some damage. So let's go for the right arm. You throw a grab with the chainsaw, aiming it for the right arm. You definitely grab it in the right arm. We did 2 points of damage. I grab you! Rushes towards your eye, trying to maul it. He hits us in the eye. We lose some stamina. Okay, and well, basically we only really need to do 2 more points of damage to take him out. So let's go for the headbutt. There we go. He goes down. You emerge victorious. Chainsaw Broski lies unconscious on the ground. We kicked his ass. Excellent. You just earned a F.E.A.R card. Spend luck points to increase your chance of getting better cards. And wrap my card now. So I guess, okay, so there's also like ability to spend luck points and get better cards. I think I'm just going to wrap my card now. Daddy Rich Menace. What that does is it's just a collectible, basically. You take the murdered police escort, which is thankfully only a couple of blocks away. Don't turn me, Professor Amazing. I can't go back inside, please. No dice, Bronsky. Your freedom's about to be cut short. I've got some info on Serpent that could help you. Be a pal, Professor Amazing. Now, of course, we could make multiple decisions here, guys. If we want to turn him into jail or, what we want to do here, guys. I think we're going to wrap it up here, guys, but there's a lot of awesome packed into Appointment with Fear. It hits all the right notes in the story. You know, it doesn't feel too cheesy, but it doesn't take itself too seriously either. It kind of really reminds me of The Incredibles, and I really like that about this game. And it does a really good job of making you feel like a superhero. You know, each of the power sets really does shift how you do things in the game, and, you know, it makes the choices you make completely different in the story, which is really awesome, and adds a lot of replayability to the game. Now, the only disappointing thing is that there's only one book based off of this, guys. So unless they make a sequel to Appointment with Fear, this is kind of it. At least I'm pretty sure it is. But, you know, guys, there is other fighting fantasy books, and those may be made into games as well. Now, there's obviously some replayability, great replayability here, I should say. I did run into some bugs occasionally, guys, like I said earlier, primarily with the switching of resolution, but that was basically it. And from what I understand, the developer is actively, you know, putting out more patches and squashing those bugs, so that's pretty awesome. So go out there, fight some crime, guys, get this game. It's fun. I think you will enjoy it. If you don't want to get the Steam version, then go ahead and get the app version, which is, you know, slightly cheaper and easier on your wallet. Big thanks to the developer for a chance to review this game. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe and share, as it really helps me out, and I'll keep bringing you awesome games, guys. Till next time, play more indie games.